The Reitdiep plain, before the advent of man, was repeatedly washed with salt water and was treeless. There were no woods or forests and no songbirds. When the first trees arrived, with or without man's direct help, but as a consequence of his husbandry and drainage, they tended to flourish on slightly higher ground, on land that stood a metre or so above the surrounding countryside. The natural geological structure of the landscape tended to encourage the first trees to grow in an approximate east-west alignment, which, despite today's controlled and disciplined planting, can still be seen. In the centuries before Christ, songbirds, like man, gradually arrived from the south. Overwintering in the shelter of the new woods that benefited from the increase in sweet water, they began to settle permanently. The Dutch, being a pragmatic people, are not prone to telling ghost stories, but the quiet, melancholic winter woods are an inducement to believe in the possibility of such places being the natural home for whistling wraiths and winged spirits. Boatmen sailing the Reitdiep around the old river system of Grand Terp used to complain of having to travel the full 4 meanders of the river. Such was the repeated twistings and 180-degree turnings, they were obliged to see the church tower of Grand Terp 4 times in 3 kilometers. This now has all been changed. The river has been straightened, and in many places it now takes a trained eye to see where the old twisting river ran. In such a manner, and with an eye for such convenience, the whole Reitdiep landscape has been fixed and straightened, controlled and husbanded. It can truly be described as an artificial landscape borrowed from the sea, deeply marked and scored with the conveniences of human history. This is a fashionable family portrait of a wealthy local Protestant landowner with his wife and 10 children living at Lanes in the northeast corner of the Reitdiep Valley. The painting is a little naive, the heads all turn stiffly towards us, the sameness of the faces owing more to the painter's modest degree of talent rather than to a shared family likeness. The painting apes more illustrious Dutch examples of family portraiture, borrowing all the international symbols of 17th century prosperity, the broken arrow and the olive branch that stereotypically suggest a generalized desire for peace, and the fruit that are an indication of the family's support for the House of Orange, and the self-conscious display of fine clothes, the elegant poses, and the white, clean, languid hands that indicate a life of leisure. Curiously, and very fortuitously indeed, some of the female portraits, with their patterned features of big, dark, blank eyes and flatly drawn long noses, suggest a very modern way of painting the configurations of the human face.